murder. I hope that hooked you on because that is relevant to the subject today. So, 3 years ago, roughly, give or take, a man named Stephen McCullough, he got arrested, or I believe got arrested this time. He did something, and he was arrested for it, and he was put in court, and he has now serving 31 years without parole. The reason why was because he stabbed and killed his 15-week pregnant girlfriend named Natalie McCallie, I believe that's her name. I don't remember her last name. I believe I butchered it. I do apologize. And this man is not a healthy individual. He is probably the sickest fuck I've ever seen. Mainly because how he orchestrated it, as he made a pre-recorded stream for GTA. I don't know which one, but he pre-recorded that and at the same time run his murder to try fool the police and the courts, and that he couldn't have done it because he had an alibi. And there's so much more he did. Like, he changed clothes after it. He wore 2 gloves. He tried to frame his partner. Like I said, his partner Natalie. He tried to frame his ex for it, but all of it wasn't orchestrated enough because he still was found guilty and is now sentenced to life for 31 years. In 31 years, that's his only chance of getting parole. Personally, I think those chances are slim. But now he is trying to appeal this sentence because this is his words. He is dubbed himself, I believe, or that's what his lawyer says, was dubbed the most hated man in prison. It's not even a stereotype. It is fairly well known from a lot of people in prisons how there's been like court cases about it where people who have beaten children or their wives, killed children, and child molesters and all that, a lot of those do not get any breathing space in prison. As soon as they find out, they are locked onto them and basically gonna give them hell they deserve. Like, there was a court thing talking about how a guy stabbed a sex offender to death because he tried to argue his case that he was innocent, but he admitted he did it. And there's another case where, like, there's a whole PSA created by a notorious criminal named Chopper Reed in Australia saying that anyone like that are the scum of the earth and they are not going to give any breathing space on it. And hell is where he wanted to give his girlfriend hell by killing her, and hell is what he got in return because according to the Mirror, inmates at a high security prison in Mahabari has McCullen in a hit list because, like I said before, he killed a pregnant woman and is causing a bit of a security nightmare. But I personally, because I understand, like, I'm going to say it later in the video probably about, like, the basic human rights, but I'll get to that later. And like I said before, that there's always a hierarchy, and he's just at the bottom of it because I believe, I think this one, I am very unsure because I've seen this on a few reports, but it still feels very word of mouth because she was stabbed, beaten, and strangled. And this is the part where I believe is very word of mouth, and I don't believe this last part is that the autopsy couldn't figure out what gave her the final breath. That I feel like that's very word of mouth. And what they're saying is, one of them quoted that that's one thing the prisoners don't like, harming innocent children. Some of the worst attacks here in the prison have been on child killers and child abusers, one source says. And you have to understand, the human side means staff aren't going to put their own safety at risk to intervene for the likes of them because McCullough murdered a pregnant woman. He falls into that category, which is very understandable to not risk guards because if they're defending him, the guards cop it as well. Probably worse because, it's a prison. Probably won't actually. But at the time being, it's saying he's been held at the Moyola hospital wing in the prison for his own protection, as it's separated from the units and houses around, from other units, and it's housing around other 19 other high-profile inmates. I don't know if they're the same label as him, because here's my take on it, because this, like I said earlier in the video about human rights, but you still gotta protect him because basic human rights is always going to be a thing. Hell, it's even in Geneva Convention, but no one really abides by that anymore. But you know what could have happened? He could have just broke up with her. He could have been a scumbag. He would have got beaten in public, but he can still live. But he killed his girlfriend. He killed a girlfriend who was carrying his child and tried to, like I said earlier in the video, pin it on his ex. That's not a common thing to do. That's not common sense. That's hell. I've seen some serial killer things. I've read on serial killer things, but I've never seen something like that. Or I probably have. I forgot, or I missed it. I don't know. He can't be trying to get a lawyer and trying to say that I'm in trouble, I'm in danger, I'm the most hated man in prison, and I don't know what I did about it, because this is what it gives off. All it gives off is him just crying, calling the ambulance, saying that he didn't do nothing. That's all it, like I said, it's all it gives off. And he's got his time. He's serving time because of a crime he committed. That was the verdict. That was the sentence he got. And there's no way he's going to get an appeal on that, because if he does, like I said before, like, probably, I wouldn't doubt, some sick fucker is a judge and will try to submit this appeal, which ends up to vigilantes run ministries, because this is the thing while it still exists. I'm straying away a bit, I do apologize. But this is why vigilantes kind of still exist, because the law works, but some people believe the law is never going to be enough. And this one is pretty much going to go in the same thing, because he's got 31 years. And 31 years is generous for what he's done. Like, I've seen people who committed less get worse time. Like, literally, tax fraud, they get 2 lifetimes for some fucking reason. Like, what's worse here? The extinguishing of life, or misplaced money, or money being withheld against the government? I mean, like, there's no grey area here. The obvious one is obviously kicking the bus, but, other than that, it's just generally, I don't see why him being hated should mean anything about getting his sentence appealed or reduced. He's got his time, now he has to serve it, and literally, you throw something out to the universe with the same vibe, that vibe's going to come back to you probably 10 times worse. That is basically Newtonian. Every action has an opposite and equal effect. He's got his effect, he has to lie in it. He's made the bed. And that's all I got, because I dragged this out apparently too fucking far. So I'll see you all later.